you've never had a Big Red, you should.
Such a feeling of pride in the people of Waco.
The greatest soft drink ever conceived was made right here in Waco.
It's getting old, ain't for sissies. No. I'm a pepper, he's a pepper. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too, or something like that?
Yeah, honey, I'm the bogey biker, and you know I'm here to stay.
Well, howdy folks, welcome back to the channel. I am outside one of Waco's probably most famous destinations, and that is the Dr. Pepper Museum. Little known fact, Dr. Pepper was invented right here in Waco, Texas. So let's go in and see if we can't take a little tour. So like I said, it was invented in Waco by Charles Alderton, mixed together with 23 flavor combination to create the taste sensation at the Old Corner Drugstore. The owner of the Old Corner Drugstore, Wade Morrison, named the soda. He told many different stories on how he came up with the name, but unfortunately, we do not know why it's named Dr. Pepper. That's a little collage of 1953 on May 11th. Yeah, May 11th, 1953. I believe at the time it was the most devastating tornado to ever hit the U.S. Struck downtown Waco. And at the time, Waco was about the same size as Austin, Texas, and Fort Worth, Texas. And the only building left standing was the Alico building that's still standing today. But my grandfather actually was the city manager of Waco during that time, and he'd been interviewed and got lots of stories of just a horrific day in Waco, Texas.
I was appointed in February, about 85, 87 days before the tornado hit. I was in the city hall, third floor, overlooking Austin Avenue. After it hit, it was an awful sight to look up Austin Avenue from that perspective, because all I could see was torn down buildings, vehicles stacked high in the middle of the street. And it was just a horrible experience, probably the most horrible experience that I have ever been through, and I've been through something. But it's difficult to tell somebody what it's like. You can't really convey the feeling of what you saw when you looked out and saw all of the chaos, loss of property and persons, friends and family, and it was a horrible thing. But Through the years, I have such a feeling of pride in the people of Waco and what they had done and how they did it.
Hello. My name is Dr. Charles Alt, but most folks just call me Doc. Welcome to the Old Corner Drugstore. Ah, here comes my employer, Mr. Morrison. Good day, Mr. Morrison. How do you do? I'm doing well, Doc. Looks like we have quite a crowd today. We do. I'm glad you folks have made it to Waco. I'm originally from New York. People have been pouring into Texas since the Civil War, but it sure is easier to get here now. Back after the war, it would take 6 weeks by horse and wagon to get here from New York. I came back in 1880 through the port of Galveston. Took me a week by steamboat. The trains coming into Waco have made it easier for people to get here. Did y'all come by train or steamboat? Things have changed. Just 10 years ago, there were still herds of cattle being driven right down the middle of the street, headed north on the Chisholm Trail. The cattle would be driven across the Brazos River on the suspension bridge. Now, farmers from across central Texas bring their cotton to Waco, ship it out through railroad. Waco seems to be the center of everything happening in Texas, and the Old Corner Drugstore seems to be one of the most popular places in Waco. You are right. It is a popular gathering spot for local folks because of our cigar counter, our soda fountain, and of course, our pharmacy. A new creation. What flight of fancy have you cooked up this time? Just a new combination of flavors. Johnny says it tastes the way the drugstore smells after a long day of making sodas. Is it anything like the last one? No, sir. Well, what's the verdict, sir? That takes the egg. I think you might have done it. Well, thank goodness. What flavors did you mix to create such a taste? Well, it's a blend of 23 unique flavors. It's taken a bit of time to get right, and, I'd like to keep it between us. Don't want the whole world running around with our secret. Mark it down, folks. December 1st, 1885. The greatest soft drink ever conceived was made right here in Waco. Well, it has been a pleasure meeting you folks. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go back to work. I'll let you get on with your visit. Thanks for coming, and enjoy yourselves. So long, folks.
In 1995, Cadbury Schweppes purchased Dr. Pepper. And in 2000, Cadbury Schweppes acquired Snapple. And then in 03, Dr. Pepper, 7-Up, Snapple were unified to become Cadbury Schweppes Americas. 2008, Dr. Pepper Snapple Group became publicly traded as a result of a spinoff by Cadbury. And in 2018, I didn't know this, Dr. Pepper Schweppes merged with Keurig Green Mountain. So now it's called Keurig Dr. Pepper. I had no idea. Saw Kelly B limping around the other day, Kelly B gliding from an old high school injury, and I felt his pain because I've got a broken ankle from high school that never healed. And some days it's worse than others, but everybody's got their deal, right? It's getting old ain't for sissies. Big Red is another drink that was invented here. I hadn't got that far yet, but maybe it was the same company, I'm not sure, but it's a battle between Dr. Pepper and Big Red for my favorite soft drink. If you've never had a Big Red, you should. Like to have that old gas pump. That's pretty cool. All right, I got a soda fountain here, so let's head over there and see if we can't get a cold Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper float. Pretty good. So I probably hadn't been in there in 20 years. Another example of really should be taking advantage of the cool places that are close to us. So are you a Dr. Pepper or a Coke person? Let me know down in the comments. No! Eesh. Too hot for the hot tub.
Open up the window, I'm breathing in the last of September. I can feel the wind blow, and the late summer sky is like a giant ember. Everything is turning into gold. since I was a little child. Every year for as long as I remember, all the leaves were running wild, going all the way until November. Turn the world around us into gold.
I'm going to give you an update on the ditch of death. It was so wet in the spring after the driveway partially washed out that we couldn't get a backhoe to where we needed to get to pick up some culverts, which are over here, to fix it. And then I just kind of got lazy and put it off. So I'll show you what it's looked like all summer. We've been able to get across it, so it hadn't jumped to the top of my priority list, but it's a bumpy ride and bumpy drive every time we go across this. You can see how much washed away. About 5 feet probably. So I had some road base delivered this week, and me and Jason are gonna get her done sometime in the next week or two, hopefully. Putting 2 more concrete culverts in there, hopefully to stop it from washing out when we get these torrential floods. So we'll see. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that local attraction. I'm a pepper, he's a pepper. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too, or something like that? See you next time.